In today's video, I'm going over 5 underrated Ableton shortcuts to get you working like a pro. Let's get it. Aloha Gang, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and you're interested in growing your production and mixing skills, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss a thing. You guys know how it is. When creation strikes, you want to start moving as quick as possible. You don't want to be endlessly searching for a function or clicking between windows. So today, we're going to get you saving time and creating more with these 5 shortcuts. Oh, and stick around to the end because I got a bonus shortcut that for me was a total game changer. All right, so starting off with tip number 1, we have switching between clip view and device view. And the shortcut for that is Shift plus the tab button. And I'm just gonna show you guys what I used to do. So let's take this drum track, for example. I would double click on the MIDI section, and let's say I wanna just mess with this. I'm gonna add this snare just to show you. So I would go like this. And then when I wanted to get back to the device, let's say I wanted to EQ it. I have an EQ already set up on here. I would double click on the channel, move it back. Then I would double click back on the MIDI section right here. And I would just be double clicking back and forth. So now just by pressing Shift and tab, I can switch back and forth seamlessly. For number 2, we have activating and deactivating clips. So basically muting clips or muting notes. And it's a really simple one. All it is hitting 0. But I use this a lot while arranging. As you guys can see right here, sometimes I'll just duplicate everything. And then as I'm arranging and I want to take stuff out, I just hit the 0 button and it just mutes that whole section. So you can kind of create an intro, or let's say we get to the second verse and we're going to drop the 808 out on the first half. I just hit the 0 button. Boom. Muted. This is also great when you're working inside individual clips, and I do it a lot on the hi-hats. When I'm first starting out and I'm figuring out what I want to do with my hi-hats, I'll have a pattern. Let's say I came up with a pattern like this. This is for the hook. And then for the verse, if I want to just duplicate that whole region but make it different, I hit 0 and you guys can see how it grays out. It deactivates those notes. Boom. Let's say I want to bring that one back in. Are there any shortcuts that you guys are using right now that you think are a game changer? Let me know in the comments below. On to shortcut number 3, we have insert or delete time. This is a huge one also when you're working in arrangement mode. So let's say I wanted to add a section after this hook. I would move everything over, but what happens sometimes is, like you can see right here, I totally forgot to bring this over. This section down here. So I moved this and nothing happened to this. So now my whole arrangement that I had worked on is offset and not how I wanted it. So what you do is you hit Command I. Do this little box right here. So let's say I want to add 4 bars. Boom. Now it just adds that whole section right there for me, and then I can move whatever I want. Or let's say, like before, I wanted to move. Command I. I want to add 8 bars. Boom. 8 bars added right there. I can fill it in with whatever I want. And the same thing. Let's say I want to take out this whole second verse, or no, I want to take out the second half of the second verse. Shift, Command, Delete. Boom. Now that spot's taken out and everything moves over. Before I would delete it and then come down here, delete that, and then have to highlight everything. You know, this is how I used to move it over like that. Sometimes I would miss things, but now Command Shift Delete. Boom. Oh wait, I want to add something back in there. 16. Boom. All right, tip number 4 is transposing octaves. This is great when you're working on a melody and you're just kind of messing around with an idea. So let's say I have this and you know, it sounds cool, but I want to move it down. I'm going to hit Shift and the down arrow. I'm sure a lot of you guys just do what I used to do, which is grab it and kind of move it up until it lines up, but this is way easier. I'm just gonna hit shift and then the arrow, whichever direction I wanna move it. If I wanna go up an octave, down an octave. Okay, tip number 5 is enable triplets. This is great when you're working on your hi-hats. I just have my straight 16ths right here. And I want to spice it up. I'm going to hit Command 3. That's going to turn on my triplet grid. Just going to lay those down right there. Right? Super simple. That's going to save you a lot of time just switching back and forth, especially when you're working on your hi-hat rhythms. All right, you guys, you made it to the end, so here it is. The #1 shortcut that I use all the time now that was a complete game changer. And it really made a difference for me when I started mixing within Ableton. And what that is grouping tracks. And what I'll do now is I'll take, let's say, the drum tracks, 808 hi-hats, I'll group those together, and then I'll add a compressor, and a lot of times I'll add a auto filter. So then I have control over all 3 of these groups, or all 3 of the tracks. I did the same thing right here for the melody, and if you click inside, I have a compressor on all of those melody tracks. And it just keeps you really organized, and then it allows you to do a submix. So right here, I just have the group. So here's my auto filter. Now that's applying to the 808, the hi-hat, and the kick and snare all at the same time. Instead of having the auto filter on each individual track, you just kind of put them all in there together, and you're creating a submix essentially. There you go, 5 shortcuts to get you working like a pro. If you found this video helpful, make sure you drop a like. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at AlohaAlex. If you guys are new to Ableton, check out my video on how to record vocals. It's super simple and it'll get you guys creating right away. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Aloha.